Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bernardo from the BJTechNews. So, I decided that I wanted to take another Microsoft exam, and I started studying for the 7410. I actually started a while back, and it's like an off and off kind of thing. So I decided is everything that I study or start studying, or all the videos that I start watching, I'm going to create my own videos because it's like taking notes. It's like video notes, which is awesome. And I want to provide this information to you guys, and probably you guys are probably on the same situation that I'm in, and you want to take this test as well. So you need like a study buddy. So let's get together. Leave questions, comments right below the video, and let's help each other out. Let's pass this exam. So the first thing, as always, is the installation and the configuring of Server 2012, which I'm going to show you guys how to do that, as well as migration steps, because most likely when you are within an infrastructure that you already have servers such as Windows Server 2003, Server 2003, you're not able to migrate. Not actually. Well, yeah, you can migrate. You can only migrate certain tools. You can't put the CD within a Server 2003 machine and double click on it, and then it will automatically upgrade itself to 2012. You can't do that. The only way that you could do that is by leapfrog, meaning is you got to take your Server 2003, upgrade it to Server 2008, I believe R2, and then you could put the 2012 CD in and upgrade it that way. Now, most likely you have servers, a couple of rows that you want your 2003 machine to be migrated over to your new Server 2012. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well, because that's what I learned. So let's get started. So I'm running everything on a virtual machine, but there are core requirements for Server 2012. And from my understanding, for CPU, you need at least a 1.4 gigahertz 64-bit processor. Now, Server 2012 only works for 64-bit, from my understanding. Now, the core requirement, the real requirement, is about 3.1 gigahertz 64-bit processor. I'm just gonna make that sure that you guys understand that Server 2012 will only run on 64-bit. So make sure that you have that. Now, the minimum requirement for memory is 2 gigs, but recommended is about 8 gigs plus. Hard drive space is between 160. You could get away with 60 gigs. I'm actually running my virtual machine on a 15 gigs because I'm not going to be doing too much. So let's get started. So I actually running everything on a virtual machine. I'm using VMware Workstation 9.0. Haven't upgraded to 10 as yet. I have my ISO mounted, and we're gonna do is we're gonna power my virtual machine, and we're gonna boot into our little Windows Server environment. Like right now, it's loading the files, which is awesome. And once it loads up, we're good to go. Okay, so as you can see, this is kind of normal. You're gonna get a dialog box requesting the language to be installed, the time and current format, and your keyboard. Now, most likely, if you're in a different country, your installation CD from Server 2012 is gonna have your language pack. I did download the United States because from the United States. So we're gonna hit next on this, and you got a nice little button that says install now, and then you also do a repair your computer, which is later on. I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to do it install now. Okay, so once all the files are loaded, you're going to get this nice little prompt. And now Server 2012 comes in 2 flavors, and the 2 flavors is you get a GUI and you get Core. By default, Microsoft is pushing out Core. Core is a small little footprint that allows you to manage and do everything on a command prompt. So that means you got to know a little bit of history with PowerShell. Don't get me wrong, you don't need to be a black belt on PowerShell, but at least be like a white or yellow belt of a PowerShell. So that's for core people. For this 7410, you really don't need to know too much of core, which you do need, but not too much. If you guys want to practice on a Server 2012, you can actually practice on the GUI side. Now for this video, and for what I saw from my learning and reading from books, a lot of people have used the Server 2012 data center. So that's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the GUI side, and I'm going to hit next. And you got to make sure, it's up to you, read this if you want, accept the license and terms, hit next. Now you have two options. Most likely if you have a Windows Server 2008 or Windows Server 2008 R2 machine, you put the CD in and you boot it from the CD. Most likely you want to do an upgrade, you pick this. For us, because it's a plain Jane machine, it hasn't been touched, no operating system has been installed on it, we're going to do a custom install. So we're going to click on that. It is going to scan your hardware and see if there's a physical hard drive there. As you can see, I do have a hard drive, and I actually gave it 25 gigs, which is cool. We're gonna hit next on this, and right now it's basically gonna start copying the Windows files, which that normally takes it's pretty quick, and right now it's getting ready to get the installation process going. That takes a while, so that's when you could just go get a coffee. So once the installation is completed, you're going to get this. Most likely on the Server 2012, it's going to automatically prompt you for a password and re-enter the password for your very first account, which is the administrator. And we're going to do that right now. And we're going to give it the nice little strong password. Again, this is only for testing. This is to help us out for our exam. And once you put the password, we're going to hit finish. It's going to finalize your settings, and it's going to boot into this. So this is pretty odd, right? So you could do a control delete. Again, I'm using a virtual machine, so I'm going to send the command of control delete, and we're going to log in and boot into our new machine. It's applying all the user settings, preparing the windows and the desktop. So once you finally logged into your Server 2012 machine, automatically Server Manager is going to load up, and it's going to bring you to this new feature called the dashboard. Now the dashboard has all the goodies that you need to maintain and install roles and features, as well as other servers to manage. And you're also able to create a server group. Now at the upper right corner, you're also able to hit the manage, and within manage you're able to add roles and features, remove roles and features, add a server. With the adding the server, it allows you to manage other machines or other servers within your infrastructure with one console. You're able to create server groups and also change the server manager properties. This is really up to you. By default, it refreshes every 10 minutes. You also have the option to do not start the server manager automatically at login. I like it when it loads up. One common thing that I do notice is this is not really important for the test for the 7410, but these bad boys are always red. Eventually, if you refresh, it comes to green. You have the tools. Now, the tools is basically the same thing that we've seen in Server 2003 and Windows Server 2008. This is your administrative tools. So this is where you basically could do Windows PowerShell commands, your task scheduler, system information, resource monitor, performance monitor, etc., etc. So what I want to show you guys is how to install the migration tools. Now, it's two ways to doing it, and I'm going to show you both ways. One way is to use the manage to add roles and features, which we're going to do. You get this nice little dialog box, which is the wizard. You could read this, or by default, if you want to skip this, you could just check this off, hit next. You could actually remote desktop service installation, which is pretty cool. We're not going to deal with this right now. We're going to do a role-based and feature-based installation. We're going to hit next. Because we only have one machine, and this is the local machine that we have, the one that we're using, we're going to pick this. You could also use a virtual hard disk. For the book that I'm actually reading and the videos that I'm actually viewing to take the test, to study for the test, they're going to touch base on virtual hard disk later on. So hopefully when I do read that chapter, I'm going to do a video for you guys. But we're going to do select the server. We're going to have one. We're going to select that. We're going to hit next. And the role, actually the feature that we want to install is in the second option. So what you could do is just skip the role. And what we are looking for is the migration tool. So where is it? Here it goes. So we want to install Windows Server Migration Tool. So once you highlight it, it gives you a nice little description of what it is. It's going to include Windows PowerShell commandlets that basically allows you to migrate server roles, operating system settings, files, shares for computers that are running earlier versions for Windows Server or 2012 to computers that are running Server 2012, blah, blah, blah. So basically, you need these tools set up to your Windows Server 2012 due to the fact that if you do have a Server 2003 machine with a bunch of roles and you want to migrate to the latest version and you can't, you need to have these tools installed onto your Server 2003 machine as well as your Server 2012, so you can migrate those roles into your new machine, your Server 2012. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now, due to the fact that this is kind of the easy way to do it, the test is mostly handled by a lot of PowerShell. So I've actually got like a bunch of dumps of questions from the exam, and they do a lot of PowerShell commands. So I'm going to show you guys how to install the roles and features actually for the migration one on a PowerShell. So at the taskbar, you got the PowerShell shortcut here. So you want to right click on it and you want to actually run this bad boy as an administrator. Okay, and the commandlet that you're going to be running to install, which is this commandlet, is very popular for the exam. So I kind of want you guys to like remember it. I'm gonna remember it myself. And the command is basically install dash Windows feature. And now if you hit the tab, it automatically, auto completes it for you. And you want to do the parameter of migration. Migration. There you go. Actually, it's a capital M. I don't know if the capitalization makes sense, but whatever. And once you do this, you hit enter, and it's going to start collecting the data. It's going to start installing the feature within our server. So I like using PowerShell because, again, a lot of the questions within the exam is based on PowerShell commands, commandlets at least. So if you get yourself familiar with it, it's best. You get a better understanding of it too. Now, once the feature or the feature and role is installed, you're going to get this nice little prompt right here. It's basically saying that it has succeeded. It's true. I didn't need a restart, and the exit code was succeed, which is excellent. We actually installed the Windows Server Migration Tool. That's basically what we wanted. I get a nice little warning right here, which is because I haven't enabled the Windows updates. We're not going to worry about that. And we're going to exit. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to run a command prompt. Now, with Windows Server 2012, there's no start menu. So if you put your mouse over at the lower right-hand side, you should get this little start button. So if you click on it, you're able to get to the start menu. And from here, if you start typing CMD, it's going to automatically bring the search bar up, and you're able to get the command prompt. Now, we want to run this as an administrator. So if you right click on it, you get options at the bottom. So just click run as administrator and you're good to go. Okay, so once you got your command prompt up and running, you guys want to get into the server migration tools folder. So the way that you get yourself into that, you need to get into the Windows System 32 folder. So I'm going to do a CD drive, actually CD, I think it's backslash. There you go. I'm going to clear that out. I want to do a CD and Windows System 32. And I believe it's server migration tools. Let's see, CD Windows, CD System 32. Actually, sorry about that, guys. It's actually a system, not systems. And we want to get into the server migration. Where are you? Migration tool. Excellent. Now, the command prompt that you guys want to enter is real easy. I'm going to clear this off, and the command prompt that you want to enter is SMI deploy space parameter is a package. You want to do a package of this space architecture. And because we are running a 86-bit 32-bit server 2012, we got to make sure you do 86 space / and the parameter of OS. And the OS that we're doing is a WS03, a Windows Server 2003, space / the path. Now the path would be the IP address or the UFC path of the server. Now this is my Server 2003 R2 machine. I'm going to log into this machine, and I created a folder within my C drive, and I shared it out, and I called it, MIG, which is migration for short. And as you can see, I don't have anything in it. And I'm going to actually give it the path of this IP address. So it's going to be / 192.168.129.153 /MIG, because that is the folder that I want this stuff to be entered. We're going to hit enter. And the SMI, oh, sorry about that, guys. I made a boo-boo. It's actually SMIG. Okay, SMIG deploy. Hit enter, and there it goes. So right now, what is it doing? It's checking for any prerequisites. It's copying the server migration tool files to wherever location that we provided. Now, if I go back to my Server 2003, we got the folder, and we have what we need. Awesome. Now, to run this migration tool, so you could grab all these settings within your old server, your 2003, you actually need a couple of requirements for this to work. One, Windows Server 2003 or R2, and the requirements is that you need at least 25 megabytes of free space. You need at least .NET Framework 2.0 and PowerShell 2.0. Now, you also, if you're gonna install PowerShell 2.0 into a Windows Server R2, make sure that you have the latest service pack. So I actually have Service Pack 1 on my testing machine, and I needed to upgrade to Service Pack 2 for the PowerShell 2.0 to work properly. So when you guys are doing this for testing wise and you're studying for the exam, make sure that you have those requirements. Again, I'm going to say it again. You need at least 25 megabytes of space, .NET Framework 2.0, and PowerShell 2.0, but make sure that your machine is up to par with the latest service pack, which would be Service Pack 2. Now it's time for us to run the migration tool. So the way that we're going to run the migration tool is by doing a command prompt. So we're going to load up the command prompt, and within your command prompt, you want to get into your MIG file. So within your command prompt, you want to get into your MIG folder. Now, the folder could be whatever. I did MIG because it's for migration, so I'm going to do a CD MIG. Actually, let me do a CD /. Let me clear that out. CD MIG. There we go. Let me clear that up. And we're going to do a dir to look at the directory. Excellent. And within the directory, we want to get into the SMT folder. So we're going to do a CD / SMT and do a tab so it will auto-complete for us. Hit enter. And we want to do a / SMIG deploy. And we hit enter. So this will take some time. It's basically prompting, getting all the settings that it needs to do. I think on the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to get all the settings and all the added stuff. Again, the book didn't really go into much detail on the migration part. It basically showed me the commands. I think within the exam, it doesn't go too much detail on this part, but you do need to learn the commands of what the SMIG deploy does, how to get those migration tools within your Server 2012 using the install Windows feature commandlet within PowerShell. Also, how to use the deploy tool and how to get all that information. So that's pretty cool. Plus also the core requirements. I've noticed in some Windows Server exams, they do ask you a question of like, what are the core requirements? If a particular company had this and this, what are the core requirements? So that's pretty cool. So once you run this command, you get a nice little PowerShell. Again, the video in the book that I've been reading didn't go too much in detail. Hopefully when I start reviewing the second video in the second chapter, I get into more details for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this part 1. This is a new playlist that I'm doing for you guys. I'm actually learning this. I'm learning, practicing and studying my heart out for the 7410, which is the Windows Server 2012 installation and configuring exam from Microsoft. So everything that I do, chapter by chapter, I'm going to be doing a video for you guys. This will help me out because it's like a video kind of diary, kind of lesson kind of thing, as well as help you guys out if you guys are going for the 7410. And if you guys have any questions, or we could actually go back and forth with helping each other out for the exam, that'd be pretty cool. Again, you can leave comments right below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first part. I don't know if I'm going to do this weekly, but it depends on how much I want to read and watch the videos. And if you have any questions, again, please go at the bottom and leave a comment. And don't forget about hitting that like button. And I'll catch you guys on the next video, which is actually titled as Modifying the Installation. So hopefully that's what the chapter is titled. And I'll catch you guys on that next video. Peace out.